I say that was wonderful, Baba Jeff. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. I love hearing that song. It flows to Ashe. It was beautiful. Um, moving on to our affirmation. Um, so if you know who you are, who is giving the affirmation, then you can make sure you unmute yourself and come up. And then after the affirmation, we're going to have a song by Mama Gloria. So our affirmation.
Yes, thank you, Sister Alicia, Minister Alicia. We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors and to honor the struggles of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen so that we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are the children of God.
Ashe. Thank you, Mama Michelle and Brother Ed. A song by Mama Gloria.
Sacred space and be reminded of who you are. Make sacred space and be reminded of who you are. Make sacred space and be reminded of who you are. Holy sound, come through me. 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 Ancestor sky people all here today, hear my heart's song, hear my respect, hear my love, hear my grateful tears fall. I am truly blessed. I am truly blessed.
Yes, yes.
That was beautiful. Okay, I guess the rest.
I am truly blessed. I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. Take us from the false to the truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om Masatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Richarma Amritam Gamaya. Om Masatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Richarma Amritam Gamaya. That which the Creator has made can never be destroyed. Ishe Olua Kole Bajeo. Ishe Olua Kole Bajeo. Kole Bajeo. Kole Bajeo. Kole Bajeo. Kole Bajeo. Ishe Olua Kole Bajeo. Ishe Olua Kole Bajeo. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you, sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. Ashe.
Ashe. Beautiful.
Oh,
Thank
shit.
you. Ashanti-san.
That was definitely lovely.
Ashe, very lovely, very lovely.
It got even more and more beautiful as it went on. That was great. So thank you, Brother Bill, for putting up the video, and thank you, Mama Gloria, for the song, and thank you to Brother Ed and Sister Michelle for the affirmation. And now we're going to move on to the historical tribute. This is one of the reasons why I came and stayed at Wote was the historical tribute. And so today we're going to have our historical tribute by Minister Malley. And then after that, we will have another song by Mama Gloria. So Minister Malley, take it away.
Good job, Seneb, this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to bring a historical tribute on a sister. Normally, when we do historical tributes, we tend to focus on many men and also mostly prominent people within our historical context. Today, I'm going to share someone who may not be that prominent, but was significant in terms of the impact this sister had upon and expresses somewhat of the sadness and the misuse of us within a historical arena. So this morning, I was going to bring forth the history of Sarah Bartman, also known as Sart G. Bartman, a sister from South Africa who was of the Khoi ethnic group, born in 1789 in Gamtoos Riviere, South Africa, and was, well, the history will show that she came from there and then became a bit of a historical anomaly in Europe. Sarah Bartman had married as a teen, and her husband was killed by Dutch colonialists, and then was convinced to come to Europe, specifically being told that she would be an entertainment. She would perform as a entertainment in Europe. Instead, she became a woman that was treated as a circus freak, who was misused for her physical beauty that was considered an unusual characteristic because of her prominence as a physical body. And this objectification, this misuse of her beauty was turned into like a freak show, a circus act. It was so demeaning and dehumanizing to the point that she only lived 26 years. She died in 1815 in Paris, France. This woman, this sister, was thought to be an image of beauty, but actually became an image of abuse and objectification by Europeans. She was exhibited all over, and in fact influenced Paris fashion till they invented the bustle as a means to emulate her physical beauty. All those things would be in a positive context if they had been really used as a honoring of African beauty, but instead it was a mimicking and a characterization where they had cartoons and photographs and drawings of her in extreme, overemphasizing her physical attributes. And it didn't stop upon her death, but actually continued where she wasn't even given an autopsy. She was dissected, made a plastic cast of, and her body parts, her brain, the skeleton, and sexual organs were put on display in France in a museum until 1974. So for folks who think that it's just been a recent history of overemphasizing the physical attributes of women, it's actually been an ongoing one, and unfortunately an ongoing negative one. She died at only 26 years old, and she actually remained on display until 1974, and then her remains were repatriated to South Africa in 2002. So for 1815 to 2002, this sister's body was kept in the France Museum as still an artifact of just disrespect for her humanness. And if you don't think that objectifying and reducing women to their physical components has a negative impact just in those arenas, but actually if you look at the ongoing imagery of women who are considered like physically beautiful, like Beyonce and so forth, who aren't being exhibited for their talents and for their creativity, but just for their physical parts, and have remained this image where Black women are not given the respect due. Instead, they're considered like objects, things, creatures. In the case of Sarah Bartman, like I said, it had an impact upon Paris fashions and so forth, but it wasn't done out of respect. It was done out of this dehumanizing aspect as if she was a creature. And it's still going on even in modern times. If you don't think the objectification is impactful, that one of the greatest riots in New York City history was based on an incident on that same issue about objectification, the dehumanizing of Black women, that a married couple in New York City were visiting, and the husband went inside a bar to get a drink. The wife was sitting outside the bar, and a white man attempted to arrest her because he thought her being attractive must mean that she was a prostitute, and tried to arrest her outside the bar as she waited on her husband. Her husband came out, seen her being accosted, didn't know it was a police officer, and stabbed the man to death and ran away with his wife. A riot ensued, one of the largest race riots in New York City history. So it is still an ongoing challenge and struggle for women, our sisters, to be regarded as respect and the humanness that they deserve. And we should learn from these lessons that it isn't something that was just minor, but actually can be the difference between life and death in terms of our ongoing growth and struggle in America. So I wanted to address that, to bring it forth, because a lot of times those parts of the history get skipped over, and we don't want to be participants in our own abuse and disregarding of our own beauty, that we need to be respected and respect our women, and also raise up the image of our beauty and not allow it to be perverted and misused. Ashe, Ashe, come on.
Ashe.
Ashe, oh, Ashe.
Now the song by Mama Gloria.
Of course, we love to sing Jah praise. We love to sing Jah praise.
know it's time for the world to try our love. The only love that can
broken hearts of sorrow. Come on and try your love. Try your love. Bring it down. Try your love. Try your love. Yes. Come on and try. Just try your love.
Ashe, try your love. Ashe, Ashe. Thank you so much, Baba Jeff, for playing that for us. And thank you to Mama Gloria. And thank you for that historical tribute, Minister Molly. Thank you so much. Okay, so next we're going to have the Litany of Sacrifice. And then after that, we're going to have our message by Minister Imhotep. So the people who are, if you're ready for the Litany of Sacrifice, you can take it away. And then right after that, we will be hearing from the illustrious, the glorious, the wonderful, the encyclopedia of everything African, Minister Imhotep. Ashe.
Good morning, we'll say community, Uncle Jab Sanab. She does not know her beauty. She thinks her brown body has no glory. If she could dance naked under palm trees and see her image in the river, she would know. But there are no palm trees on the street, and dishwater gives back no images. Good morning again, we'll say family. That's a poem from William Warren Cooney, brother born back in 1906 in Washington, D.C., wrote that poem, published it in 1973. And the poem is often thought of as just simply as a metaphor and an overture to Black women. But I've come to understand the poem in a broader metaphorical context, and I see it very much as metaphorical for the Black experience, the Black mentality. You know, the greatness and the grandness of our history, and most of us are unaware and just kind of going through the daily struggles of life. And so that's what I take away from that poem. This is the time in the Wose Community Service for the Litany of Sacrifice. And it is an opportunity to give back a portion of that which we have acquired or earned. And I just want to say straight away is that we want to thank each and every one of you that have been contributing and making sacrifices on a regular basis, week after week. These sacrifices help us to produce these Zoom services, to upgrade and maintain our building, to pay our various licensing fees that we have as a community, and to establish a space that is our own, where we can come and we can worship and we can sing and we can invite in who we choose without having to go through a mediator. And so all of this goes towards the great work that we are all engaged in as members of the Wose community. We undertake this work and we understand the gravity of it, but we understand it has to begin. And I believe Sister Pam will be working with me this morning on the presentation. Sister Pam, are you there?
I am here.
Good morning, my sister.
Good morning, Baba.
And as we go into the litany of sacrifice, save us, O Holy One, by your name, vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Amen Ra, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Kuji Chakalia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujima, cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own businesses and together profit from them.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and development of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Kahumba is creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Imani, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our God, our people,
and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Ashe.
Ashe. On your screen appears the street address and P.O. box for those of you that wish to send in contributions through the mail system. And I believe later on, Brother Bill put up the electronic means that you can also send in your payments and donations. And so again, we thank you beforehand for all of those that have given again in the past. We thank you for those contributions. Sister Pam.
Stewardship from the book of Hosea, page 47. Be generous as long as you live. What goes into the storehouse should come out, for bread is made to be shared. Mm-hmm. Those whose bellies are empty turn into accusers, and those who are deprived become opponents. Mm-hmm. See that none such as these are your neighbors. Generosity is this memorial for those who show it long after they have departed. Word of prayer. Divine Creator, God of our ancestors, we give thanks and praises for this day. We thank you, O Holy One, for those who had the ability to give, those who spiritually wanted to give and could not, those who have time, talent, as well as monetary. Give to our communities to ensure our survivals, to ensure our growth, to ensure that our legacy is continued. We thank those who were able to give. We thank you, O Holy One, for the gifts you have given us. We ask you to lead us and guide us always in the ways of our ancestors, and what we do is pleasing in your sight. We thank those who have blessed us. We ask for traveling grace for our children and families who are traveling this summer. Watch over us, keep us from all hurt, harm, and danger. Go into the hospitals, byways, underpass, bless them. Wrap your loving arms around them. These things I ask in your most precious name. And we say Ashe and Amen. Ashe.
Ashe.
Minister Imhotep.
know if I should come on after that introduction. I mean, people are really going to be expecting some
We're
things.
expecting you.
Uh, you know, I want to say there's only 45 people here today, but this is a very special service. There's a spirit
Yes.
that is running through the system from the opening video of Baba Jeff, Lift Say, Minister Alicia, Libation, the Circle Prayer. Sometimes that's the way circle prayers go. You know, it's not scripted. You know, you just we on this side don't know what the Spirit is going to do. And then Gloria giving us those wonderful songs. For a minute there, I thought Third World had come on, and Bunny Ruggs and Cat Core and the members of Third World had come on to give us our service today. I want to open up with a poem from it's a poem from Marvin X. In World History is African History. A poem by Marvin X. Before the earth was, I was. Before time was, I was. You found me not long ago and called me Lucy. I was 4 million years old. I had my tools beside me. I am the first man. Call me Adam. I walked the Nile from Congo to the Mediterranean. A 4,000-mile jog, but African history is world history, and world history is African history. I lived in the land of Canaan before Abraham, before Hebrew was born. I laugh at Arabs and Jews fighting over my land. I lived in Saba, southern Arabia. I played in the Red Sea and dwelt on the Persian Gulf. I left my mark from Babylon to Timbuktu. When Babylon acted a fool, that was me. I was the fool. When Babylon fell, that was me. I fell. But African history is world history, and world history is African history. I am the original European. Call me Negrito or Grimaldi. I walked the Mediterranean from Spain to Greece. Oh, Greece, why did you kill Socrates? Why did you give him the poison hemlock? Who were the alien gods he introduced, corrupting the youth of Athens? They were my gods, black gods from Egypt. Oh, Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, whose philosophy did you teach that was Greek even to the Greeks? Solon, Lycurgus, where did you study law? Democritus, where did you study astronomy? In Egypt, and Egypt is Africa, and Africa is me. I am the burnt face, the blameless Ethiopian that Homer told you about in the Iliad and the Odyssey. Homer also told you about Ulysses, a story he got from me. But African history is world history, and world history is African history. I am the first Chinese. I am the Aboriginal Asian. China has my eyes. Look for me today in Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam. I am there today, black and beautiful. African history is world history, and world history is African history. I used to travel to America long before Columbus came to me asking for directions. Americo Vespucci saw me in the Atlantic returning to Africa. America was my home long before Inca, Aztec, Olmec, Toltec. I am there today. See my Cabeza Calaza in Veracruz and the Yucatan. That's me also. I am the Mexican, for I am mixed with all men and women, and all men and women are mixed with me. Sometimes people falsely accuse me. Sometimes tyrants try to devour me. Sometimes people crucify me. But I am ever returning. I am eternal. Africa is my home. Asia is my home. Europe is my home. America is my home. African history is world history, and world history is African history.
Well done, Minister. Well done.
Thanks. So now some more sharing. So let me get out of here. And of course, a PowerPoint. All right, so going to start with this one here. We were talking about, I was with a group of people this week, and we were talking about the new philosophy of redemption. And of course, you just heard the poem by Marvin X, African history is world history. World history is African history. You know, when I first heard about redemption, it was the blue chip redemptions stamps. Remember those back in the day? You collected those, you know, like at the store and the gas station, and then you put them in books. You put all these stamps in books, and you collected these books. Here's a close-up of a blue chip stamp. And then you went to the blue chip redemption center, and you would get, you know, you could get items there. You could get, you know, toys and kitchen stuff at the blue chip. So when I think of redemption, it makes me first think of, you know, the blue chip redemption center. And then after that, they had something in Oakland called black and brown stamps. And on the stamp, it had Soul Brother #1, James Brown. I stopped liking him when he became the godfather of soul. I liked him when he was the king of soul. You know, he was Soul Brother #1. Anyway, and you'd get books of black and brown stamps. And the Black and Brown Trading Stamp Corporation was established in 1969. For some reason, that's a very important year, just in my life. A lot of great things happened. I just saw that documentary on the Summer of Soul, a great documentary that they just let out, you know, these many years later. But in 1969, this is when the Black and Brown Trading Stamp Corporation was established by a former Oakland Raider by the name of Art Powell, who saw an opportunity to create and reward loyalty within the Black community through trading stamps featuring Black icons. The first and only icon on these stamps was James Brown, which reflects the fact that James Brown put up most of the money to start the company. The stamps were issued by Black merchants in downtown Oakland to provide incentives to local patrons in the Black community. A book of 50 pages of stamps is worth an equivalent of $3 in merchandise. And during the first year, the effort grew to include 1,000 merchants across California and generated over $1 million in businesses. But I digress. Okay, we're talking about redemption, and you know, when you do an etymology, I like to do etymology on words. Even if I think I know what the word is, I want to do an etymology on the word. And if you do an etymology on redemption, so it's coming from an old French word meaning delivered from sin.
And then, but if you go back further to Latin, it means buying back or off or releasing a ransom, to redeem or to buy back, redemption. You know, now it means to be redeemed from sin, but originally in the Latin, it means buying back or off or releasing a ransom, also a bribery. Pick up on that. I went to a wedding yesterday, and there was some Southeast Asian people, and I believe that they were from Laos, and they did a particular dance that was native to their region. And when I was looking at it, I couldn't help but to think of the African presence there. And I'm going to talk about things that's taking place in this area, Cambodia. But you see how close Laos is to Cambodia. And you know what? These are some borders that Europeans put on, I bet. And you know, probably at one time all this was one place, one country. But anyway, be that as it may, keep going. And the temple that we're about to see is a temple built by Surya Varman. And Surya, if you break that word up, it means the sun. It's related to the sun, and it's the capital of the Khmer. Kemet. You know, before it was Kemet, it was just Cam. And when I think about Kemet, when you put a T on it, that puts the feminine on it. We had a brother that is studying in Kemet right now, and he came and talked before us, and he said he went to the Nubian elders and asked them, Kemet, what did Kemet mean? And he said from their teachings, from their traditions, it meant the Black Mother. Khmer, you know, they were fighting in Vietnam War, they were fighting the Khmer Rouge. So there's this place, it's called Angkor Wat. And it's in Cambodia. And so it's not only the Kemetic temples, it's not only the contributions of the Greeks, it's not only the contributions, the contributions that made Greek philosophy and culture. It's not only one particular segment, but African history, is all over. So just look. I'm sorry about this picture not coming out clear, but look at the complex, the vastness of this. We're going to drill down. The pictures will get a little clearer. We're coming into focus a little bit better. Now these are the heads that are on, that when you come into this kingdom. You've heard of the Olmec heads? Well, look at these heads of Angkor Wat. Right when you come in. And look at this temple. And I know they didn't call it a temple because that word temple means time of El. El is one of the gods that were used among the Canaanite people, which was picked up by the people that we call Israelites and Hebrews today. And that word El means a plurality of gods and goddesses. They didn't call it a temple. I don't know what they called it. Look at that. Just laying this stone the magnificence, what it must have taken, and to put those faces. Look at that. You see, it's got his little short fro here. See, probably got it. Somebody, he went to the shop and got his edges done. All right. Angkor Wat. My goodness. I actually used to work with a guy that looked like this. His name was Wally. Used to work at North Face. Angkor Wat. Look at this sister. She's got her fro. People don't wear fro. Thank you, Pamela, for wearing your fro. It looks nice. And then she's got her ears. Usually this is reserved for Black people, elongating your ears. And then that collar, similar to the collar that they wore in ancient Kemet. And then here, these brothers, they got their locks in cornrows and pulled up like they're doing today. That sister, she's got her cornrows there. Look at her. She's pulled up her locks. This is why we're saying African history is world history. Look at these people. They say that while the brothers were fighting in Vietnam, sometimes the Viet Cong, the people in Cambodia, they would try to communicate with them and they would say, brother, why are you fighting against us? This temple was unearthed. The land, the vegetation had taken it back over. But I was watching the people that were doing the dances yesterday. This is what got me started on this. And they was making movements like these sisters. Oh, let's bring back the fro. I like the locks, so let's bring back the fro. Now these are stone temples, monstrous stone temples. And I told you about this. It was built, and now they say it was built in the 12th century AD. You know what? I asked this question. Can you carbon date stone material? What materials can undergo carbon dating? And the answer was no. Only organic material that originally contained carbon can be carbon dated. Oh, by the way, what does that word carbon mean? Black. It went on to say that monuments like Stonehenge, Easter Island statues may be assigned at least approximate date based on other cultural artifacts and histories. A limitation of true carbon dating is that it is not very accurate for all times less than several thousands of years. Thus, many early prehistoric artifacts are really on the error-prone edge of the techniques of accuracy. And we need to look at that in Kemet. Why should we accept the dates that the West gives us for the statue that we call the Sphinx, for the for the monuments that we call the pyramids? Why should we accept their dating? Because you can't carbon date a stone. But now let's get into the philosophy of new redemption. And this is on chapter 9 in Stolen Legacy. Give you a little breather. Oh, whoops. Oh, come back. Stop. I'm trying to get out. Okay, now what did I do with my Stolen Legacy? It was here. Okay, my Stolen Legacy. I had my Stolen Legacy. I'm looking. Hold on just a second. As the Hosea. I got so many icons on here. What did I do with that? Well, I'm going to keep talking. I have a backup here, and it's the Ampim version. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to find the Stolen Legacy. I want you to listen to something while I'm looking. Okay, it'll just be a minute. Okay, it won't be a minute, but hold on just a second. Let's go back to Pharaoh Sanders here. Here's some Pharaoh. Get back in. Okay, I found it. It was hiding. All right. All righty then. Can everyone see that? Someone say yes. Somebody let me know.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about chapter 9, social reformation through the new philosophy of African redemption. So now I've highlighted some things I want us to look at. This new philosophy of redemption consists of a simple proposition. Why is this proposition called a philosophy? He goes on and he says, a philosophy is an accepted belief, and this proposition is a philosophy because it is offered as a belief worthy of acceptance. What is a philosophy of redemption? A philosophy of redemption is not merely an accepted belief, but a belief that is also lived in order to enjoy the benefits of his teaching. Then he asks this question. Let me make it a little bigger. He says, how shall the Black people work out their own salvation? Our philosophy of redemption, he goes on to say, is a psychological process involving a change in belief or mentality to be followed by a corresponding change in behavior. It really signifies a mental emancipation in which the Black people will be liberated from the chain of traditional falsehood, which for centuries has incarcerated them in the prison of inferiority complex and world humiliation. We actually are living and experiencing the condition that we are inferior to other cultures because we think we have been taught, well, not at Ile Day and Wose community and other places that are out there, But in general, we have been taught that we have never done anything, that we have never created anything, that we have not done anything worth or worthy of respect. And so we are incarcerated in a mental bondage. And so this philosophy of redemption, this psychological process is put in place in this book, Stolen Legacy, to change our mentality and give us mental emancipation. And then he goes on to say, he says, being liberated from inferiority complex by their new philosophy of redemption, which is destined to destroy the chain of false traditions which has incarcerated them, the Black people must face and interpret the world according to their new vision. The giving of false praise to Greeks, a custom which appears to be an educational policy conducted by educational institutions. Well, there's a lot of uproar now. I can't think of the sister's name. You know, she was denied tenure in a Western university, and Howard said, we'll grant you tenure. And so she's been all over the news. She was on Tiffany Cross's show yesterday. You know, people are talking about, what is the term? Someone help me out there. What's the term now that's got the Republicans all?
Critical race
Critical
theory.
race theory.
Race theory. You're talking about Hannah Jones, Minister.
Thank you, Hannah Jones. Yes, talk back to me. You know, otherwise I just see the screen. I don't really see the people. So what was the critical race theory? What is critical race theory? All critical race theory is something that's taught to, like, if you're in a law school, you're in your second year, it's an upper division course where you're measuring how discriminatory laws affect Black people. They don't even want you to study that. They don't want you to look at that. The second phenomenon is the missionary enterprise whereby Black people's culture has been caricatured. This is what, thank you, Minister Malley. Black people's culture has been caricatured in literature and exhibitions in such specimens as to provoke disrespect and laughter. And Minister Malley gave us the example today. He was brave. Now, I wouldn't have shown that sister. You know, some things I'm just a little too, I don't know what the word is, but I'm not as brave as Minister Malley, but he put it out there and it was well received. That's where you get the bustle from. And in Asian culture, that's where you get their form of the bustle, by them seeing Black people. Likewise, let us never forget, when we are reviewing this bit of history, that the Greeks called the Egyptians hoi Egyptoi. They also called, like, okay, the word Egypt comes from the word heku patah. They were trying to say heku patah, and it came out Egypto. But it related to the Black people. Black people, then he goes on to say, in living up to their new philosophy of redemption, Black people must adopt a negative attitude toward this type of phenomena, because they have become fully aware that these phenomena are the result of false teaching. What is he talking about? He's saying, in this negative attitude of Black people of the world, we must shun the false traditions and teach the truth, which is their new philosophy of redemption. This must be done in the home to young children. I want to just give this anecdotal example. I don't want to mention family members' names, but we have a family member
And we went over to their house. They had a little girl. Little girl was like about maybe 3 or 4 years old. And the mom had bought her this Barbie doll that was bigger than her, blonde, blue-eyed Barbie doll. And my wife spoke to that family member and said, look, I'm gonna call Child Protective Services on you if you don't get rid of this doll. Do you know what that's doing to that child? And instead of a family member, you know, reacting negatively, she got rid of that doll. Fast forward years later, that same little girl grew up, high self-esteem, and is now a dentist. But it said that this must be done to young children. It must be done in colleges and schools to students. It must be done from the pulpits and platforms and audiences and in fraternities and sororities to young men and women. Uh-oh, fraternities and sororities. Do you mean Greek letter fraternities? Okay. This new philosophy of redemption, being a revelation of truth in the history of Black people's civilization, must become a necessary portion of their education. And it must be taught not just today, not just next week, not just a year, but it must be taught for generations and centuries to come in order to fulfill them with inspiration and pride and liberate them from mental servitude. People say, well, what is the plan? What is it? Our plan is to teach this new philosophy of redemption to our people this year, next year, 10 years later, 100 years, however long it takes.
Yes.
They must discontinue, stop it, the practice of quoting Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle in their speeches as intellectual models. They must relinquish, this is a tough one now. They must relinquish membership in all Greek letter fraternities and sororities. They must abolish all Greek letter fraternities and sororities from all. He was writing in 1954, so he used the word colored colleges because they have been a source of promotion of inferiority complex and educating Black people against themselves. I suggest that the negative attitude of Black people should consist of a boycott of missionary literature and exhibitions, and secondly, of perpetual protest against these forms of missionary policy until a change is brought about. I know there's people now, some of our friends and members are in Ghana right now, and I haven't been to Ghana, but so many people have told me, I've seen the pictures. You go there and you go to the slave ports and the door of no return. Right there is some white Jesus is still there. We still have that. We still have that burden to carry to lift ourselves up. He said, this is the least that the Black people are entitled to, respectful treatment, because they are representative of the oldest civilization in the world from which all cultures have borrowed. I see. He said we should be united in this racial reformation and carry to the mission fields a practical gospel of happiness. You know, sometimes revolutionaries, sometimes Afrocentric people are the most angriest and saddest. You know, so much so that nobody wants to be around us. You know, I met a young man yesterday. He said, he came up to me, he says, this is at the wedding. He says, I've been following you. He says, I subscribe to your YouTube channel. He says, and I like what you say when you say you're African-centered, you're Afrocentric, but not Afro-silly. And some of us are Afro-silly. Some of us, you know, we just go too far. Nobody wants to be around us. But so we need to promote a gospel. I don't have time to go into it today, but that word gospel isn't what you think it means. That word gospel has to do with a military venture. And this is what the Romans did when they rewrote the books that the Jews had. They changed their savior from one who was a teacher of righteousness to somebody who would turn the other cheek. And it's really a satirical encounter when you read the four gospels, because this is the Romans laughing at you, saying, render unto Caesar what is to Caesar. But getting back to the word gospel, gospel of happiness. We need to get a happiness means that this means that happiness must begin where we are here on earth. A gospel that is interested in the total welfare of people. A gospel which ignores the economic and social rights of natives and emphasizes only something in the unknown place is one-sided and misleading. All right, I think I've just about covered it. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of here because, yes, I want to say this. All right, sisters and brothers, I just got one more thing for you. Is this it? I'm not sure if I can find my song. Let's see. Is my song here? Oh, you know what? This is just a little joke. I left this part out. But this goes back to that word redemption. How many have seen this movie? It's really funny to me. It's 1936. It's called Green Pastures, and God is black. This is God. This is Rex Ingram. He's God. God is black. The angels are black. All the people in the Bible is black. 1936 movie. And this is what he says about redemption. I'm sorry, that's a little bit out of place because I was supposed to go into the redemption part, but I didn't want to miss it. Okay. I was looking for my redemption song. I don't see it on here. I'm just going to stop right now. Well, let's see. What's this? Is this it? Is this it?
African history is world history.
Oh, no, it is not. All right. Let me sing it live. Bold pirates, yes, they rob I. Sold I to the merchant ship. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hand was made strong by the end of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? Is all I ever had. Redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy. None of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Yes, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? Is all I ever had. Redemption songs. Redemption songs, redemption songs. Ashe.
Ashe. And the musical and poetic talent too. Yes, thank you.
Ashe.
Thank you so much.
Ashe. History.
Ashe, Ashe.
Mm.
The new
Mind building.
philosophy, philosophy of African redemption. We've got to do all we can in every way we can to get that message out to our people so we can be liberated from this cultural, spiritual incarceration that's been imposed upon us for too many years, too effectively for that matter. You know, something recently in the news, I'm sure some of you have heard of it, where in some of these school districts in the US of A, where the student with the highest grade average was a Black student, as well as he was a valedictorian, and then secondly, the salutatorian was also a Black person, Black student, and the white folks in the area couldn't stand it. And they got on the school board and the school superintendent, and so they decided, well, we're going to have two of each, a white student and a Black student. We just can't stand it. And on the other side of that, that's the kind of stuff that on the other side that we as a people are too often exposed to, and we embrace it. No, we've got to change it. You know, that our ancestors, our culture, our traditions are the foundation of what's known as civilization throughout this world. We've got to get those words out, and it's not an easy thing. You know, part of the story of Stolen Legacy writer, why is his name escaping?
George G.M. James.
Got the book right here, George G.M. James. Part of his story is highly suspected that because he told the truth and got the word out there and sought to liberate us from European Greek impositions, is that led to his death. That he just disappeared, and you know, it's not really been investigated. But we have work to do. We're going to get this philosophy of redemption, of liberation, redemption. What is philosophy? I was listening to Minister Imhotep, I'm making some notes. That's something that's worthy of belief, and worthy of belief so deeply that it's worthy of living in order to enjoy the benefits of this teachings. And so we've got to do all we can to get the word out to our people, to our young people in particular, in my view, because there's too many of them. There's just, I saw it on the news where they were talking about in Oakland, where when the July 4th thing was going on, and people was out in the street late at night, all through the early hours of the morning, firing guns up in the air. I know here in Virginia, in Richmond, Virginia, the area, they did that kind of thing a couple of years ago, and a young boy was killed because a bullet came down, went through his head. You know, we've got to get the word out that my brothers and sisters, families, parents, and elders, there's another way of living that will liberate you from so much of this misery and madness and self-destruction that's been imposed upon us. We've got to be the messengers will say, we've got to do all we can. It's not just something for us to do on Sunday for a couple of hours on Sunday and say, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's just a celebration of what we've done in the week behind us, and a renewal and a regeneration of energy and commitment to what we're going to do in the week ahead of us. We've got to get to find ways to get the word out, to get the message out, to invite our brothers and sisters, parents and elders, young and old alike, to be part of this community. And if you're living too far away from this, get enough information. You started where you live. We can deal with WOSEs all over the place. We need to have WOSEs all over the place. So right now, I just want to extend the invitation. There's someone here who heard the message today that, hey, our people, our ancestors are all over this earth. That's embodied in the story of Asar and Aset. And when he left her in charge to be the mother of the culture, of the tradition, so he can go throughout the world, throughout the earth, and share the tradition. So we just want to invite you, if there's someone here that heard the word today and feels like you want to be part of this community, because there's a philosophy of redemption that we need as a people, and you want to be part of it, we just want you to let it be known. Take yourself off mute and say, oh, over here, what do I need to do? Who do I need to contact? Let us know where you are, and someone here in our group will contact you, get information from you, and get information to you, and introduce you to the process. So is there one today? Is there one today? Ashe, we give thanks and praises for Minister Imhotep. he tries to avoid those titles, those labels that we put on him for his knowledge, his depth and breadth of knowledge. But hey, what it is, brothers. We get to opening those books and doing all that research, you get appreciated. So is there one today? We're hearing, we're listening. All of us need to be saying, yes, I've been renewed in the commitment to diligence, to do all I can, every way I can, every day I can, to share the message, to share the spirit, to be a living model of that. It's not a new direction, living model of the righteous direction for our people. Ashe.
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 Ashe. Oh.
All right, well, I'm gonna get out of the way. Don't hear anybody today. Well, I heard all those Ashe-os. That means we are getting some regeneration today.
We have somebody who spoke up, an Enoch Henderson.
Ashe.
Henderson. Enoch.
Yes, Enoch Hankerson.
Ashe, yes, I see that.
Right.
In the Los Angeles area.
Ashe,
right.
Los Angeles.
Okay,
All right, Enoch
brother.
Henderson.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome for
Yes.
All right.
Yes. That's
So,
my son's middle name. Enoch, that's a great name. You guys, if you don't know, you should research that name.
All right, Enoch.
Enoch.
Okay, who's interacting with Enoch, getting information from him and
Baba
passing it?
Sidney, can you reach out to Brother Enoch?
Yes, I will. If he could put his phone number, and I'll give him a call. And also, maybe we can open it up, and maybe Brother Enoch can introduce himself. Tell him.
Ashe, yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
go ahead, Brother Enoch. Yes, do that.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Enoch Hankerson. I live in Los Angeles County, Long Beach, to be exact. I do educational background. I have 5 receipts, degrees. One of the receipts, two of them are masters on the academic field. I do timelines on the Nile Valley classical high culture, maps, and even some timelines with our brother Renoko Rashidi on the Olmec and the Queens of the Nile, Women of Power. And that's a little bit about me for now, but I have visited WOSE before a few times. You know, when I come to the Bay Area, man,
Yeah, well.
I guess that's it for now. You know, I'm not trying to take over the service or nothing. You know,
Okay.
just get a listen.
Hello. Sounds like you got the kind of credentials that fits right in with the Wosei community, brother. So you come to the
Thanks
right
for
place.
your coming forward today. Bill, I have a lift every voice and sing if we don't have one.
And just one more mention, Enoch is gonna put his phone number and his email in the chat for us, please.
Yes, Enoch, can you do that? Your email and name, social security. No.
Yeah. I'm doing it right now. Even the routing number.
All right. All right, brother. All right.
And let me get my reminder in for Women of Wow before we go on to lift every voice and sing, please. Thank you. So our meeting is going to be this Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. I've listed the channel and the password, and it is for all women of Wosei with intention to be members. We come in, we support each other, we love each other. Each of us has different things we're doing, you know, dealing with and going through, and we're here to support. We do have a mission statement, but of course I couldn't find it today. I wanted to read it. I couldn't find it. I'm like, okay, but come and join and see what we do. You don't have to come all the time. You don't come if you come to check and see, get an idea. If you're interested, we understand. If you're not, we understand that too. We overstand. Ashe?
Ashe. AJ, did you see my note to you in the chat? I sent a note to you in the chat, just so you know. That just, all right, I'm gonna play Lift Every Voice and Sing. This is from Women of the Calabash. I think they used to be, some of them used to be Sweet Honey and the Rock. As we close, Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies. Alleluia.
And now unto them, let's grab our hands, grab everybody's hand. You know, like if we were in the physical in the same room, we would be holding each other's hands, and we would say, and now unto them who was able to lift us up faultlessly before the throne on high. May they empower us to be people with one aim,
One aim,
one vision,
one vision,
one faith,
one faith,
one destiny,
one destiny,
one love,
one love,
one heart,
one heart,
one God.
one God.
Let us call upon the name of that one God as our ancestors and elders have done for countless generations, for time immemorial. Let us all say together. You
are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth. Yes. Ashe.